You know, if the one thing I always think about in WoW expansions is that if the enemy, like the Iron Horde, all tried to kill us at once, they probably would succeed. They kind of did try that when we first came here, but they it failed. Um, but at least they tried. Most other bosses don't. All I can think of is it's out of egotism, which is fair enough. But you think that the enemies would kind of look at the past and learn, but people kind of don't do that in real life. Like, look at invading Russia during the winter. Bad idea. Like, seriously, Napoleon tried it. You know, kind of. Since it didn't work for him, it probably won't work for you. If you get me. Um, so wait, he's about trying to do an AoE. I'll try someone else. Yeah, you'll do. Okay, sorry, that was just strange. Someone just got then it's the Golden Lotus achievement, and it's just interesting if it's someone here because how would they have gotten it? Do they have some item? Yeah, it's someone here got the Golden Lotus achievement. That's interesting to say the least. But anyway, you know, again with the bosses, Artist is the only one that so far that gets a pass, and he only gets a pass because, okay, big spoiler here, it was all planned. He wanted to drag the Azeroth's greatest heroes to Northrend. He wanted them to crush like Naxxramas. He wanted them to crush all of his places. Why? Because if they did so, then they would be fucking incredibly powerful. Azeroth, if they fell to him, wouldn't have a chance of defeating him. He would have the ultimate trump card. Incredibly powerful heroes at his command. Sorry, I thought the dog was going to start moving. She didn't. Um, like, so he gets a pass. It's all big plot ploy. It's actually very smart. Um, I like that idea. So hey folks, sorry, now she moved. Anyway, like every other boss, if you know, they've never tried that kind of approach. Um, like every other big bad doesn't. Um, like I'm just trying to basically argue and say maybe some of them don't because, in all honesty, some of the big bads from the expansions like aren't playing with the full deck. I think if I remember correctly, a few of them were kind of crazy. Like Illidan, he apparently, if I remember correctly, keeps kind of moping over his defeat to Artis. He tried to kill the Lich King, but Artis kicked his ass, even in a weakened state, and he basically keeps playing the event over and over again, but with him winning, and he's kind of losing his mind a little. And So there's a bit of a reason, but then why didn't Kale do something? Um, he was. Then again, I'm not sure if he counts as the big bad of the thing. So if you get me, so I'm not sure if it matters what he did, if you get me, did or didn't do. Um, but yeah, basically, like if they just like I know like actually didn't like wait for us to prepare and come to them, or like here the sorcerer king flees back to his throne room, leaves the pale, rampaging around, a ton of chaos happening. He does nothing, and we basically take his empire apart bit by bit. Well, his seat of power apart, take out all the big names, um, or at least big names that we know of, if you get me. The reason I say that is maybe a patch or two down the line. Oh yeah, there's this guy who was working for him. He just wasn't there at the time, or whatever. Or he wasn't really loyal, so the moment shit went down, he left. Remember, like, the guy in the heroics who meant to be a minion of Deathwing's kids, not Nixia, Notarian, whatever. His name begins with N. As far as I know, he wasn't in like Cataclysm. He wasn't there, so he was kind of created for that heroic. So basically, they could do it again here with Heimdall. Um, like seriously, if the Sorcerer King, the Breakers, if they all like banded together and just came out, yeah, the players wouldn't really be able to do anything to stop them. Of course, that won't be particularly fun because it's basically an unwinnable situation. But kind of makes sense. If you get me. And since they don't do it, it ends up coming off as kind of weird. These are nearly done. It's actually funny. I'm nearly done with the raids. Sorry, for this week. Once I'm done here, I'll fix up my garrison. Then I think I could be done. For now, and I could come back later. Basically, what I'm saying with that thing is, I would like to see. I don't want to be too harsh about previous villains, but basically, some villain that's rather intelligent. If you get me. But then again, it mightn't actually work in a fun way, if you get me. Them actually unbeatable situations, wouldn't exactly be a fun thing to play in, so I'm not sure how Blizzard could work it. Still, it would be just something I would find interesting, if you get me. Interesting to see. Especially if they could somehow do that idea of mine and get it to work. I find that fascinating. Of course, since I'm not typing this idea out, I feel like I'm kind of goofing it up. That's why I prefer writing, because it allows me to um, fully express my point, while just talking doesn't. I end up kind of losing my train of thought, and while I doubt this has happened, I could end up actively contradicting myself. But yeah, most of the boss's cases, the reasons for everything is ego. Like this guy, often even though we killed our way up to him, like still insulting us for being like inferior. Even though like we killed like his greatest achievements, the Breaker. I just realized they didn't use this. Okay, let's just work on killing these. Alright. I'm trying not to sneeze. What? Wondering, should I actually be focusing on the Reaver? I'm not sure. It's just like very few people are focusing on this thing, the War Mage. But why not? I'll keep just hacking away at this one. And anyway, the actual Reaver is down now, so it's kind of moot, I think is the word. It's actually kind of funny. He keeps going on about the power of those stones and all that. We've actually no interest in them. Unless there's a quest after the the current stone quest I have, to go and kill this guy and take the four of them, or one of them. Um, then, you know, maybe afterwards maybe I'll have to wait till, after I complete this quest to actually deal with them. Because, he's kind of going on about it, and it's just like, no, we just want to kill you for, your trinkets. Um, where was I going with that? So yeah, I don't really know much of where this is going, like the quest chain. I do know we get the legendary follower out of it, and she's a named person who's somewhat important in our lore. She assassinates not the current King Wirren, but his father. She also worked for Medivh, if memory serves. She also worked on trying to kill Medivh. White shield. Um, she switched sides a few times. Okay, apparently if you detonate a destructive resonance, it actually says it as an emote. So everyone knows, well, everyone who reads the chat. Someone casts heroism just at the end. May as well roll. Don't have any need for that. Leave instance. So basically, what happened there is I did one raid, finished it, got dragged into another one, and did all three in a row. It's kind of beautiful. And now I could try and do like the Blackrock Foundry stuff, but I see no point. Reason that I see no point. Sorry, I was wondering about here. The reason I see no point is because also you may notice Fiona actually starts trying to help out here. Kill the podling that was there. So that's kind of cool. She doesn't heal you or anything, but she does toss out a few damaging spells. It at least looks like. Okay, I also actually wait. I have more than just the raids to do. I want to do the other things. You know, the assaults on different areas. So may as well do there. Also, I just remembered something. In the Garrison campaign, they mentioned that in Shatrat, see this, where Shatrat City is, that's actually a sealed area that we haven't accessed yet. I smell a future dungeon or raid. Also possibly a hub. I doubt it. It's probably going to be dungeon and or raid. But it will be interesting to see, regardless of what they do with it. I hope they do something with it, because, you know, it can be weird otherwise. Okay, Fiona seems to have a bit of an aggro range. And yes, she is actually casting like Holy Smite on it. So she's doing something. Also, followers now do gain a fair bit of XP from the jobs being done. Like, you know, the Skinner, he was level 100 green, and now he's a level 100 blue. Also, skinning depends, the amount of the bonus you get depends on the character's level. So, yeah, nothing else seems to work like that, is all I'm saying. So that should be kept in mind. So if you want someone to work in your, you know, barn, you may want to make sure they're actually, I would say somewhat leveled, but I think you may. I don't think you like. There's a penalty to say having level 90 Skinner in your barn. Um, so I suppose you could just level them up that way. It just may be more efficient to level them up through missions and whatnot. But I haven't done, you know, broke it down, did all the min maxing and whatnot. So do whatever. You have my blessing. Like seriously, you end up going at such a pace chugging the miner's coffee. 175%. Oh, there's my follower. She too is now level 100. It's very handy to have followers with you know, skills, because you can just stick them in the building, get them to do some some work orders, and you can level them up that way. Of course, it's probably not the most efficient of ways, but it could be argued it has certain benefits over relying on missions, because there's not always, like, say, missions that give good XP. Well, as long provided you have the resources, you can always have a job going. Um, Obviously, it depends on which ones. I find the herb farm is the hardest to keep going, because you don't really get that many seeds from the place, if you get me. You only get so many. So you don't really get to put on many jobs at one time, but like say the barn for example. All it does is require you to go anywhere with animals and toss down a trap and easily catch it. It's it's pretty easy XP. While with the garrison missions, it requires you to say have garrison resources and whatnot. And even then, you mightn't have any ones with good XP. But, meh.